Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? All right. Let me drink some water real quick here. Okay. Last week's topic was it's a pretty big hit. I got a lot of feedback from you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand on that some more this week, so that way you can see the entire deal flow of how things come together, and how things come together and make money for you. And so this is what I call the ultimate virtual vesting business model. I shouldn't call it model. Let me call it system. And the reason why it's the ultimate is because it's a system that once you set it up, you can do it completely without you, where you're not the person responsible to work with the buyers. You're not the person responsible to work with the sellers. And there's no marketing cost involved either, as you do these deals. Now, I do have a disclaimer to make. If you haven't done a deal yet, if you haven't done any deal yet, I still highly recommend for you to go through at least one deal, so you can learn how the whole process the whole way through. And once you've done a deal already, then you can set it up this way. You could number one, afford to pay for a virtual assistant, or number two, once you start making some money, you can even if you don't want to pay for a virtual assistant, you can have a real estate agent that will work with you on a deal split. So you'll make less money per deal because you have more people to split it to, versus having a virtual assistant do it. However, some money is better than none. So especially when you can set it up and have the system going, and leveraging all of these other people to do it for you, so that way the business is not dependent on you. One of the biggest things, one of the I guess biggest secrets to my success is that I started to delegate a lot of things very early on, and because I knew that if I was the one to do it, a lot of things don't get done. Okay, and so a lot of things don't get done, and so I started to delegate very, very early on, so that way things do get done. When you hire people, things just get done. That's just the way it is. So, okay. So let's talk about the setup for this ultimate virtual vesting business system. There are I guess you can sort of say four. I guess there are sort of like four main sections, or four main category of things that happen in the deal. First is you got to bring the lead in, and so the setup works like this. You're going to have a virtual assistant, and now remember, this is the reason why I don't have you in here is because the model is supposed to be set up without you in it. Okay, and so that's why you're not doing anything here. But if you don't have any one of these people right now, that could very well be you for right now. Okay. But just know that even if it's you right now, it's temporary until you get this up and going, and then you will find people to quickly replace you. Okay, And you can also have one person that does all of these for you. However, that's not very, it's not suggested for you to do it that way for a couple of reasons. Number one, you don't want one person to know all parts of the, you don't want one person to know all parts of the business, because then why would they need you in it? And number two, you want them to specialize in one thing and one thing only, so that way together all of you are making money. Okay, and of course they don't have the specialized knowledge that you do, and so so it's better to keep them as separate as possible. And the first person that you have is a virtual assistant that their primary job is to find and pre-screen sellers online. Okay, let me add in the word online in there, because a lot of things that happens here are going to happen online and not offline for the main purpose of it's just a lot more scalable when you're able to do things online, and it's a lot easier to have virtual assistants to help you online, because virtual assistants are so much cheaper, so much less expensive than having real estate agents, than having real estate agents help you with your business because of the amount of commission that you have to pay out, or the amount of split that you have to pay out. Okay, or even hiring a full-time employee to do it. It's just more expensive offline, and so we prefer to find a virtual assistant for that reason. Okay, and then you want to have a negotiator. Now, this negotiator can also be this virtual assistant. It depends. It depends on how qualified your virtual assistants are, and how big your business gets, of course, too. Because in the beginning, it could be very well that the same virtual assistant is the one that's doing all three of these things. Okay, which is fine. And as your business gets bigger, and you have more leads coming in, then you can separate them out more. Okay, and so when you separate them out, your whole marketing funnel will continue to to drive itself and continue to bring in leads and deals for you. Okay, and then you're going to have another virtual assistant, or like I said, the same virtual assistant here, to then, once this negotiator negotiate and put the deal under contract, you can have this virtual assistant then market it online, and find buyers and pre-screen buyers and add the buyers to the buyers list. Okay, and then offline, the online marketing itself could very well allows you to find a buyer, and you don't need anybody offline. However, if you do have somebody offline, it's going to help you drastically more. It's going to help you drastically more because because now you have somebody to take pictures of the property for you, to show houses to the buyers for you, to do offline marketing like putting out signs, and so having somebody offline is very, very important, and it's very beneficial to your business. Okay, and what we did here is we ran an ad in the Craigslist job listing area, and basically the ad said buyer's agent needed. We're a real estate investment company looking for buyer's agent to help us sell our owner financing homes, and basically email us to apply. And so the ad cost, we ran that on Craigslist, cost us like $25. If you run it in the classified real estate services section, it won't cost you any money. But it doesn't. $25 is nothing. We out of that one little ad, I think we got like probably around 20 or a little bit more than 20 replies. Out of which we then we then sent them an email of further instructions on how the program works, and give them more detailed about what type of homes we deal with, what type how they're going to be paid, and how they're going to be paid, and when they'll be paid. So basically, it's sort of like the pre-interview process. And out of about 20 agents that reply to our ad, another about six agents or so then said yes. I'm very interested in doing what you want us to do. So for us, that's a really effective ad, and we only ran that ad one time. And depending on your market area, of course, you may or may not have the same results. But regardless, agents are very hungry. Agents are very hungry right now, especially right now, and they'll do what it takes. They are very willing to work with you and to do these deals with you. Okay, so so that's the setup. Okay, and Sherry asked, what kind of ad did you run? I ran a job listing ad in the real estate job section of Craigslist. Okay. And even if you don't run any ads, even if you just ask around real estate agents that you know, even if you ask around real estate agents that you know, there are plenty of them that will that will respond positively. And one of the real estate brokers that I know told me, Tim, I can get you as many agents as you want that would be interested in this program. So there's a lot of there's a lot of ways that you can go about finding these agents. And if you don't want to work with virtual assistants at all, you can easily replace this top three people here with a real estate agent as well. Okay, so you can have a real estate agent that specializes in finding the properties for you, and then you have a real estate agent that specializes in finding the buyer for you. Okay, for me, it's just cheaper and more efficient to have a virtual assistant than to have an agent to also find the sellers. But you can you can easily you can easily do either. You can replace any of these things with you or a real estate agent. Okay. The types of deals that are best for this setup that require that requires the most minimal involvement from you are owner financing, rent-to-own type deals and wholesale deals. Okay, these allows you to be a lot more detached from the business, I guess, where you don't have to be so involved in the business. And so, like if you were doing landlording or if you were doing rehabs, that's much more difficult to do. You can also have this very similar setup, if not very similar setup to what I'm explaining today, to do short sales as well. Okay, and with short sales, they are more difficult to do, and but however, the payoff is much higher, right? Because your profit per deal is a lot more than your profit per deal, in these other types of deals, in flipping owner financing deals or in flipping wholesale deals. The way that you can flip owner financing deals and make more money is by being part of the deal and have equity in the back end. But that's not something I necessarily suggest for most of you who are who are new to the business. Once you get this going and gain enough experience, and you want to buy on owner financing and then turn around and sell on owner financing with you being in the middle, that's fine. You can do that, and you make more money because in the back end, you make more money than just the down payment that you're collecting up front from your buyers. However, when you're first starting out, I just want you to collect the down payment and get in and out of the picture, get in and out of the deal. But you definitely can make more money by being part of the deal. So the more work you're willing to put into it, I guess the more money you make. But remember, this business model is not about you doing more work. This business model is a business model that will allow you to do as little work as possible, so that way the business doesn't need you, and have your team to do as much work as possible. And so you are going to make less money per deal, and you're going to pay out to more people. However, however, it's going to be a volume thing. So you're going to do more deals. Okay, instead of doing bigger deals, you're just going to do much smaller deals, but a lot more of them, because they don't need you to do anything. So it's a lot more, you can do a lot more of them. Actually, I kind of lie. You kind of do have to do something, but that doesn't happen until all the way at the end when it comes time to closing. Right? So you do have to either sign paperwork or sign a power of attorney to someone else to sign the closing documents for you. But that's to the extent that you have to. So you're there to get paid. Okay, and like I said, you can adapt this, to. I mean, you can take a look at what you're doing right now in your business. You can take a look at what you're doing right now in your business and figure out how you can adapt what I'm teaching right here to your current existing business. Don't be so stuck doing things exactly the way I'm teaching you right now. All right? So I'm teaching you a lot of things, but however, you take this and figure out how it's going to apply to you. If you can't afford a virtual assistant right now, that's fine. Figure out how you can have an agent to do some of this work for you. Figure out how you can have a bird dog doing some of this work for you. Or perhaps you're going to do it yourself, or your spouse do it for you. Figure out someone else. Figure out to replace this with somebody. Okay, just make it work. Okay, Fiona asked, Tim, when would you use a wraparound mortgage versus when would you do a lease option to buy or sell? Well, Fiona, it's more dependent on the state and city that you're in, which one is more favorable. Wraparound mortgage is something that's kind of across the entire U.S. It's more acceptable than versus lease option or contract for deed. Both lease option and contract for deed are very, very difficult to do here in Texas, and so and so it's just more favorable that way. Okay, and as to so depending on your city, depending on your state, whether you're doing a lease option, a contract for deed, or a wraparound mortgage, just whichever one is easier to do in your area. Any of those is fine. The benefit of lease option over a wraparound mortgage is that with lease options, you can just evict the tenant. You don't have to foreclose on them. With a wraparound mortgage, you have to foreclose on them. But if you really think about it, if you're in states like Texas here, where our foreclosure process is 21 days, so a lot of time the foreclosure process here is actually faster than the eviction process, and so so that's I guess that's the biggest difference. And the cost to foreclose costs more than the cost to evict somebody. But there are also a lot of benefits to an owner financing or a wraparound owner financing. Is that it's not a tenant you're dealing with; it's a buyer that you're dealing with. So they are responsible to pay for all of the taxes, insurance, maintenance on the properties, and so they do take better care of the property. So there's plus and minuses, but like I said, the best way to determine that is depending on your state. Okay? All right, so let's go through the deal flow real quick. Let me shrink some of these things out. It's easier. Can you guys see the screen okay? Do I need to zoom into anything? Let me try to zoom in a little bit, hopefully, for those of you. For some of you, that might be better. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the deal flow. Well, I guess I'll leave that there. So the first part of the deal flow, this is what happens in an entire deal, right? First you have the seller side, which is marketing for the seller, getting the leads, getting the contract, and then once you have the contract, you have to switch your hat over to the selling side. And that's when you have to market for the buyers and get to closing. So this is pretty much the deal flow of any deal that you work with. Okay, and so let me open this up. So first is the seller marketing, lead generation, the online part of it, anyways. Anything that's online, you can pretty much assume that we're going to have the virtual assistants to do that. Okay. Now you don't have to. It doesn't have to be a virtual assistant, but that's my preference, and and I think it'll be very beneficial for you to do that as well, versus having a real estate agent. Now. With a real estate agent, a lot of time you of course there's benefits and disadvantages. The benefits of having a real estate agent is that a lot of time they would be willing to pay on the deal split. Okay, so you don't have to pay them anything up front. You just pay them on the deal split. With a virtual assistant, on the other hand, most likely you're going to have to pay them up front. And you have to pay them each month like a salary. However, because they're so inexpensive, that the cost of having a virtual assistant is a lot less than the cost of having a real estate agent. And you can kind of figure that out. There's more risk for a real estate agent because if the deal doesn't close, they don't get paid anything. And so, because there's more risk in it for them, they expect to get paid more. Versus a virtual assistant, who's getting paid up front. They have less risk into it. However, you should bonus your virtual assistants on each deal when you are able to close on it, so that way they can they'll push it a little bit harder as well on their end. Okay, so where are the places that you can find online seller leads? The first and probably the best place to find them is using the instant lead generator. Okay, the first and best place to find them is using the instant lead generator. And using the instant lead generator, you can send out emails to these seller leads, to these landlord leads. You can you can call them. Okay, and if you're flipping wholesale deals, and so we're not necessarily talking about only on owner financing type deals here. Everything we're talking about now could be you can do this on owner financing, rent-to-own type deals. You can do it on other people's wholesale deals where you're flipping other people's wholesale deals. You can do it on short sale deals as well. Okay, so using the instant lead generator, it's probably the best and most efficient way to do it. And then using the leads from dodeals.com, there's just tons and tons of seller leads and landlord leads in there that you can use. The leads on dodeals.com are different from the leads from the instant lead generator. Okay, so they're not the same type of leads, and you can also run through Craigslist leads as well. The only thing with if you go directly to Craigslist is that they just have so many leads, and it's kind of hard to filter through them. It's kind of and so so that's a trick with that. You can also do the same thing with Backpage.com. You can also see leads and classify ads on there as well. Depending on your market area, you might have too many leads or too little leads. The problem with too many leads is it's harder to weed through and find out the more qualified ones. Okay, so your best sources are going to be the instant lead generator and the due deals leads, and because the instant lead generator basically it goes through it goes through and filter out as much of the Craigslist leads as possible and leave us with only leads that are best for our kind of use for real estate investors. You can also check your local daily newspapers classified websites, local newspapers websites. Like for example, here we have the Chronicle. So we can check on the Chronicle's website for under the classified ad section to find sellers as well and call them up. You can also use for sale by owner type websites like Fistbull.com, owners.com, for sale by owner.com. The trick with for sale by owner websites is that a lot of those sellers are not motivated, and so it'll take longer for you to pre-screen them. It's a longer pre-screening process, and following up with them, and so you might not see a deal that will mature until till months later, and so. But I wanted to have it here just so that way you do know that they exist, and you can also go after landlord leads for owner financing type deals, because a lot of landlords that are trying to rent their house, they're accidental landlords. The reason why they're trying to rent their house out right now is because it's because they were not able to sell them. Okay, they were trying to sell the house, they couldn't sell them, so they just want to rent them out to cover for their cash flow. So a lot of them will be willing to sell them on a rent-to-own or sell them on owner financing. And so, you definitely can find them as well. And again, you can use the instant lead generator to find them. We also have landlord leads in the Due Deals members area as well. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you log in and check that out. Okay. We have let me see, landlord leads. Again, very similar to the seller leads. You can also find them on Craigslist, on Backpage, on your local newspaper, but this time look for rent ads instead of for sale ads. And you can also post ads online. So not only can you reply to ads that are posted by sellers and landlords, but you can also post ads in the real estate services section as well. Okay. There are many other websites besides Craigslist and Backpage to do this, like Kijiji.com, Udo.com. There's many websites out there. If you just do a search on online classified ads, there's a lot of them out there. I'm just using Craigslist and Backpages because they're the two biggest ones, and so you might as well focus your attention on the major ones. But there are plenty other ones out there. And depending on your market area, you might have one that more specialized in your market area. That would be a lot more effective. Okay, and so so find out what website is popular in your market area and concentrate on that. Because Craigslist and Backpage, they're national websites, so they don't necessarily specialize in any one area. And you can also have your real estate agent to do offline marketing as well, by looking at for sale by owner ads, for sale by owner signs as they go around these neighborhoods. You can also get referrals as well. Get real estate agents to send you referrals of people that they can't sell houses to, or they can't list a property because of whatever reason. You can also get referrals from them, and your virtual assistants can definitely call around for agents to get referrals. We don't do too much of these two right here. I put it here as an option that you can do. Most, if not all, of our marketing for sellers are done online. Okay. All right. You guys have some questions here, but I'm just gonna answer the questions at the end. Okay. So I'm just going to go through it so that way it'll flow a little bit better. Okay. All right. So now, once you have the lead comes in, you're going to need a some type of centralized location for all of your people to be able to access the leads. Okay. And preferably for everybody in your team to access these leads from a centralized location, so that way, so that way they all can put notes there, and you have good access to that. Now, for us, you have good management for those leads. For us, we use Steve Jackson's Virtual Investor Plus system, and so if you guys use that, that's great. I know there's a there's a monthly hosting fee that you have to pay to use that, but that's not it's pretty minimal. So highly recommend that you do that. Now, if for some reason you can't, for some reason you don't have access to that or can't afford the monthly payments or whatever, you can also use projects.zoho.com. Now, this is not a lead management site or anything. This is actually a project management site. However, there are things that if you only have one project, it's free. So between you and your team, you can set it up as a free thing, and you can use their online spreadsheet, Word document, for any file that you need to store online. You can you can store that file so that way you can share it with your team. You can chat. You can do blogs. You can do different collaboration stuff. Online between between you and your team. So like I say, it's not it's not the same as this, but it's free for one project, and so I guess it's something that you can use for now, or you can use or you can even use Excel. But once you have a team, it's best if you have something that your team can log in to help you manage. Okay, that would be best. Okay, and then so the you can have you can have the virtual assistants here, okay, to make a note when this virtual assistant is pre-screening the sellers. That virtual assistant could be the one that getting the value for the property, from our website, or if you have MLS access from your real estate agent can run the comps for you, or the virtual assistant can run the comps and make notes on that lead. Okay, so that way when everybody is looking at that lead, let me just sort of show you this real quick. But so while somebody having access to the leads, you could they can see everything. They can see all of the seller's question and it opens on this side. But you see here, you could, this is where the virtual assistants or the seller can input in all of their information about the lead, okay, and your virtual assistants can put in the value and the comps in this comment section here. So that way, when when one of your team members are viewing the leads, they can see everything about that property, and they can see what the value is and all of that other good stuff. And and so it just makes it a lot more manageable, a lot easier as well. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Let me close this browser out. Okay. All right. And then and so once you have all of these things in for the leads, your negotiator, and this negotiator could be your virtual assistant. This negotiator could be your real estate agent. It's up to how you have it set up. Okay. Now, a real estate agent would be a better negotiator. Well, not all the time, but more likely, an American, I guess I should say, a lot of time a better negotiator than virtual assistants. And so if you have, if you have a real estate agent who specializes in negotiations, or it doesn't even have to be a real estate agent. Actually, I mean, it could be anybody. A stay-at-home mom. It could be anybody to act as a negotiator. But if they're good in negotiating, and if they're good in sales skills and negotiating, then it's good for you. You get more you'll be able to close more deals that way. However, depending on your business, how big it gets or how big it is now, depending on your how you grow. I mean, this negotiator right now could very well be the same person as this virtual assistant. So this virtual assistant can do all three of these parts for you when you first start out. Okay. And once you get better at this and close more deals and getting higher volume, then that's when you look into separating as many of these functions out as possible. Okay, so the more functions that you have, the easier it is for you to manage. Because when something goes wrong, you know exactly who's at fault, and also when one person is is not doing their job or is out sick or whatever, the other part of the model continue to work. The other part of the system continue to work. So that way, you continue to have deals that you do. Okay, all right. So, this, once this person finished negotiating, it would be the same person that will get it under contract. If it's somebody virtual, which can easily be that way. You can just fax and email contract to sellers and to sellers. If it's someone local, like if you have a real estate agent that works with you and that person is local, then of course that person can meet up with the seller. So at that time they can take pictures and do all of that stuff with the seller as well. Of course, it is much easier to negotiate with somebody when you're face to face with them, when you're actually meeting with them, sitting in their living room or sitting in their kitchen table, it's much easier for you to build that bond, build that trust. However, the more belly to belly that you do, the more difficult it is for you to run it virtually, because then if you want to expand into another market, let's say you live in Houston and you want to do it in Dallas, then it makes it harder. You have to find a negotiator in Dallas to meet up with the seller. So it's not necessarily that the negotiator be present and localized. It is beneficial, but it's definitely not necessary. Okay, and then and so once the negotiator puts the property under contract, once it comes time to selling the property. Okay, If you look into the, if you look in your blueprints, in the 7-day strategy blueprints, it goes in a lot more details into into all of the different websites, the ads that you would use. So I'm not going to go into that detail today. But I'm going to give you the overview of that. Just so that way you understand the big picture of how things flow. Okay. And again, anything that's online is going to be done by your virtual assistant. Okay, because your virtual assistant is virtual, right? They're not local to your market area. So anything that happens online, it's best if they do it. Okay. Okay, and the your virtual assistant should be the one that is going to should be the one that's going to get the do all the online marketing to find the buyers. So they're gonna first and foremost is posting ads. That's when it comes to selling property, that's probably the most important thing to do. Okay, is to post ads in the real estate for sale section. Okay, and if it's a for rent ad, if it's a rent to own property, you can also post it in the for rent section as well. Okay, and so first and foremost is post it to Craigslist, post it to Backpage, and post it on Postlets.com, because Postlets.com will syndicate it out to several different other websites out there. Okay, and so that's that's a good this is a good and required first step for you to do. Okay, and with depending on your market area too, you might have to post multiple times in the day, depending on how fast, because you want to always be on the first page of the classified ads. And so, like if you post an ad on Craigslist here in Houston, for example, it'll take a few hours, and your ad will be kicked out of the first page and get to the second or third page, because there are just so many ads being posted on Craigslist. And and so what you have to do is you have to post it maybe even 2 or 3 times. Now, if it's still on the first page, and you don't need to repost it. But if it's already off the first page, because a lot of people, when they search, they don't look past the first page, and so if your ad could be on the first page, that's better. And so you want to create many variations of your ads, so that way Craigslist because Craigslist won't allow you to have duplicate ads. Okay, and so now and don't overdo it. Like don't post an ad every few minutes. And have like 10 ads on the first page. You don't need to do that, because if you do that and Craigslist catch you, they will block your IP address pretty quickly. So just post the ads, and then once it's no longer on the first page, you can repost it again. And you can also email as well, to email or call, preferably email, to buyer leads as well. So you can use the instant lead generator to send out emails to, depending on the type of buyers you're looking for. If you're looking for tenant buyers, and then email to the tenant buyer leads. If you're looking for wholesale investor type buyers, then email to landlords, email to wholesalers. Email to the buyers who says, like who posted buyers who wanted ads. And if you're looking for investor buyers, landlord buyers, you can also email or call the landlords from the due deals members area as well. Okay, and this is highly recommended for you to do as well. So your virtual assistant is going to be doing all of the online ads. You want to have your real estate agent to also do offline marketing as well. So so while your virtual assistant's here generating all of these buyer leads online, those leads are going to be then sent over to the agent, and the agent's going to be talking with the buyer, showing the houses to the buyer, and while they're out there showing houses, doing open house, they might as well put out signs around that neighborhood, on vacant houses around that neighborhood, to look for more buyers. Okay, and so having the offline marketing done by the agent is good, and putting out signs and getting referrals also is extremely helpful, especially if you're looking for example, if you're looking for owner financing, rent to own, tenant buyers type of buyers, then the real estate agents can get referrals from the mortgage brokers. Because a lot of buyers go to mortgage brokers to see if they can get a loan, and so if their credit's not good, they can't get a loan. Well, the mortgage broker knows about those deals, and can refer the buyer over to you or your real estate agents. And so it's good if you have it's good if you have the referral in place as well. So the real estate agent that you're working with, the more connected they are, the better. Okay, if they're connected with a lot of other agents, they're connected with a lot of other mortgage broker, then it's good for you. Now, of course, whenever there's more parties involved, you're gonna make less money. Okay. Because if somebody refer you a lead, you're gonna have to pay them a referral fee, and so you end up making less and less money. However, it's better to make some money and have more deals going, more deals coming through than not. So have a referral network. Okay. Once same thing. You can also you can also use the Virtual Investor Plus software to manage your buyers leads, and but if you don't have the website for whatever reason, you at the minimum use something like projects.zoho.com to manage it. This is not specific to managing leads, and so it will be a lot more difficult. You can do this just to start off because it's free, but it's not, it's not necessarily the recommended way to do it. Okay, and of course, if you have a website system to manage leads, then you'll be able to send out emails, send out flyers to these buyers. But if you're going to do it manually yourself through something like like having a project with Zoho, then you can just use Gmail to send out emails. It's a lot more work, but your virtual assistants can do that for you. But like I can totally understand why why you don't have a lead management system in place if you haven't done a deal yet. But as soon as you've done the deal, do reinvest your money. Reinvest your money in having a good system up, and reinvest your money on having a virtual assistant to help you do these things. Don't be cheap about it. I mean this is a business, if you want to make a lot of money from it, at least if you want to make it, at least $100,000 a year or six-figure income, you need to have system in place. You don't want to do it yourself. You don't want to do everything manually and do everything yourself. That's just not a good way to run a business. Okay, and so as soon as you've done your first deal, then go ahead and start investing in these systems to help you run your business. Or if you have money now to invest in these systems, then by all means do that. Okay, it just makes your life easier. Okay, and your buyer's agent, your realtor, is going to be the person that's going to pre-screen these buyer leads, and depending on the types of buyers we're looking at, you might need for them to submit their application. You might need for them to pre-qualify through your mortgage company or loan officer. Depending on if you end up with an owner financing type buyers or a buyer that can get qualified for a loan and buy the house outright, or if it's an investor buyer trying to buy one of your wholesale deals, then these qualifications will go into place. Or even if it's a buy for your short sale deals, you want to run them through a mortgage company to get them pre-qualified. So your real estate agents will do those, and this same buyer's agent is also going to be the one that will help you negotiate with the buyers, because you're going to pay them the amount of money that these agents make, depending on the type of leads we're talking about. But let's say for owner financing type leads, we offer our agents 25% of whatever the buyer has as a down payment. So it's in their best interest to try to get as much down payment as they can from the buyer. If they can get $10,000 down, that means that they're going to get $2,500 as a commission. Okay, but if they get less than that, if they only get 5% down, then that's only $1,250. So it's in their best interest to negotiate for as much as possible. And keep in mind, they might make less money on these owner financing type deals, but if you look at the funnel, they don't have to do a lot. A lot of work are being done by your virtual assistants, and these buyers agents, they really don't start until here. Okay, and so they don't have a lot of work to do, and so that's going to allow them to do more deals. So they might make less money per deal, but they're going to make it up in volume. Okay, I mean, if let's say you want to focus using this model for only owner financing type deals. Okay, so you're going to get flex option on owner financing type deals, and let's say that virtual assistant can only get you can only get you one flex option every 2 days. Okay, which is actually very very reasonable for them to be able to do that. Okay, so if they just get one flex option every 2 days, out of a month of business days, they'll be able to get like 10 flex options. Okay, and and out of that 10 flex options of owner financing, your agent should be able to sell, at a minimum, at least 2 of those deals. Okay, so that so that's just like I'm just being ultra conservative there. But if when your virtual assistants get better and get 1 flex option a day, and your agents get better and sell half of those houses, that changes the equation drastically. Right? That would mean like 10 deals a month. And so and also too, it depends on how many virtual assistants you're going to have working, how many agents you're going to have working. When you first start out, I would limit your agent to only market a couple houses at a time, so that way if they're slacking off, that you can just find other agents to work on your other deals, so you don't put all of your eggs in one basket. That's how I would recommend for you to start out. But once you find a good agent that's able to move these houses quickly for you, then it's not a bad idea. It's actually a good idea to feed them more properties, so that way they can sell the majority of your properties. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Buyer contract. So once your buyer's agent, of course, finish negotiating with the buyer, that would be the same person that's going to put the property under contract. Okay. So once they put it under contract, you are now ready to go to closing. And this is the part where you get involved. And of course, if you don't want to get involved, you can always sign a power of attorney, or sign a power of attorney over to someone else in your company to go to sign the closing documents for you. Okay, so technically you don't literally have to do it. You can do it. Like for example, while I was in the Philippines, I didn't sign the documents. I signed it over for my assistant. I signed the power of attorney for my assistants in the U.S. to close on the deals for me. Okay, so that's pretty much the flow of this business model, and and I hope that gives you a good understanding of how of how this business model is going to work for you, and and I mean, this is this business model is the one that that's going to be the absolute easiest for you to set up, where you don't have to have other people, where the business is not dependent on you. That it can run by itself. The only thing is, of course, you do have to manage your people, unless you're going to hire a manager to manage your people. But you do have to lead your people, motivate them, getting them to take action. The fun stuff. You do have to oversee your company. There's no doubt about that. But at least the day-to-day stuff, of working with sellers, working with buyers, you don't have to do that. And your team are the ones that are doing that. And if you notice that, since most, if not all, everything happens online, there's no marketing. There's no marketing cost that you have to put out to do this system. Okay, so it's a very easy system to do. Now, of course, if you can pay for marketing to generate more leads for sellers and generate more buyers, that's more power to you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be spending your money. I actually do recommend that you do reinvest your money into your business to grow it. However, it's a business model that that absolutely does not need marketing dollars for it to work. Okay. All right. So. Okay, so let me go through this real quick. What kind of ad do you? I think I answered that already. Let me see. Let me see which one I haven't answered. Julio said, for rent to own, can we get the lease option docs to buy from you? The answer is yes, Julio. It's the same lease option docs that we use to sell, but the answer is yes, you can do that. Okay. Let me see here. What type of scripts you use in talking with real estate agents when recruiting them as buyer's agents? What's the benefits to them? What expectations can we set? Basically, you just tell them we're looking for buyer's agents that's going to help us work with our buyers to sell our houses, and we have different types of houses. To make it easy for you guys, to make it easy for me to explain to you guys, I'm just going to assume that you're going to concentrate on the owner financing type houses. Okay. So you're going to tell them that most of our houses are owner financing, and so when we sell our houses on owner financing, we pay a commission based on the amount that the buyer has to put as a down payment. We normally require at least a 5% down, and we will pay you 25% of whatever we can put, whatever the buyer has as a down payment. Okay. And you can even have a minimum. For example, in my business, I would be willing to do one of these deals even if the buyer only has $3,000 down. Okay, so you can tell the agents that at a minimum they're going to get at least $1,250 as a commission when the buyer has to put as a down. But typically, you're looking for 5% of the down payment. So on a $100,000 house, that's about $5,000, and that's and $5,000, 25% of that. Hold on, I think I calculated it wrong. 25% of 5,000 is 100. $1,250, I think, and 3,000 down would be actually be a little bit less than that, and so you can even tell your agents that I'm going to pay you 25% or a minimum of $1,000, whichever one is more. Okay, so that way the agent knows, or you can keep it at 25% just to make it simple. So that way you can push your agent to push the buyer for more down payments. So whatever the agent can get as a down payment, they're going to get 25% of that. Okay, so pretty much explain that to them and tell them that you're looking to do at a minimum at a minimum a deal a week. Okay, so you're going to send them at least one property a week for them to market to find buyers. Okay, which is very, very easy for you to do, by the way, to get one flex option a week of an owner financing house that's very conservative, and so you can so that way they they know what to expect. Okay, and you tell them, hey, if you can handle more, I'll send you more. So just do a good job, and we'll figure out from there. Okay. Okay. And as far as this mind map here, we'll upload it for you guys to be able to access it. Okay. I still need to do some more tweak to it, so we're not going to upload it like very quickly, but we'll upload it soon. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Do you use your VA as acquisition managers, or do you use a real estate agent here? I actually use one of my top students who I guess who became sort of like a partner in the business to be my acquisition manager here. So no, the VA is not doing it. Okay, which system you recommend if they are compatible? That is Apple to Apple. Well, you know what? I mean, it's hard because every system has its plus and minuses. I personally use Steve Jackson's VIP system. I know some of my friends use Jeff Adams' system. Some of them use Greg Clement's RealFlow system. Each system is just different. They're all about the same price. They all have their plus and minuses. And one of the one of the big reasons why we use VIP because of not just for the system itself, but Steve has a lot of resources that he shares with the members. Everything from private lenders to the ability to post on his national site. Or if you need an investor buyer, he's willing to email it out to his list. So there's a lot of things that Steve does beyond just the system that's helpful. Okay. Sherry said, okay, I put an ad on Craigslist filter to bring me buyers for my rent to own. Good. Are the RE agents, buyer's agent, getting paid by you 25% down payment, or by the buyer as commission? The agents get paid by us, okay, or by you as the investor. Kenneth said, I cannot understand why I cannot get flex options set up with sellers. Spent 6 to 8 hours contacting prospects in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Talked to a few prospects, but to date have not got one flex option accepted. What am I doing wrong? I had planned on following up last week on Saturday, but I had a plumbing leak in my basement. Took my whole day. Well, Ken, what are you saying to them? Okay, I'm not sure exactly what you are saying to them that is not getting, that's not getting through. And who are you contacting? Are you contacting sellers? Are you contacting landlords? And how many are you How many are you talking to a day? Okay. Let me see here. do you recommend Sims or Steve or Jackson's VIP? Ron, I actually recommend both because they are different. The one thing I like a lot about RealFlow with Sims, Sims is not really a system. RealFlow is the system behind Sims. Sims is the internet marketing. Sims is an internet marketing course for your to sell your houses and to find buyers. Okay, RealFlow is the website system behind it, behind Sims, and so then you're not comparing apples to apples. You would compare RealFlow with Steve Jackson's VIP system. And the one thing I like about RealFlow is it has a lot of landing pages that you can use. And Sims is a great internet marketing course for real estate investors. And like I said, I like the VIP system because of the resources that you get from Steve Jackson. So it's kind of hard to compare them. Okay, Julio said, regarding buyer's agent realtors, she acts since buyer's marketing, buyer's screening, buyer's negotiation, buyer's contract. So their only income is 25% of the down payment for owner financing deals. The answer is yes, Julio. They only do some buyer's marketing offline, okay? You're still going to have your virtual assistant that does most of the buyer's marketing online. And so the online marketing for the buyers are going to be pre-screened by your virtual assistant, and the offline buyer's marketing is going to be pre-screened by your agents, your buyer's agents. Are you doing the contract or having the realtors do that part? I personally like to have control of the contract, of the contract part, but you just fill it out for the agent, and then the agent just have the buyer signs it. This part here, so like you don't necessarily meet up with the buyers, but you or your negotiator. Now once your agent does some deals with you, they will know exactly how you want to structure the deal, and so they'll know how to create the contract based on the way you want it. But in the beginning, if you haven't worked with that agent yet, then you want to give them criteria of what you want in the contract. Okay. So eventually it would be your buyer's agent that's going to do the contract with the buyer, create the contract as well as getting it signed. In the beginning, you will have to do it and teach them how you want it done. Lorraine said, how do we get our fee? Is the fee split between me and the agents? The answer is yes, Lorraine. The agent's going to get 25% of it, and you keep the rest of the down payment in an owner financing type deal. Okay, and in a non-owner financing type deal, you can negotiate with the buyer's agent for 30 to 40% of the deal. Depends on how many other parties are involved, but 40% of your profit is a good split. So that way, you have you have 40% that goes to, or even 30%. You can have 30% that goes to the agent. You can have you can have another and like I said, it depends on how you want to split this, but because you can have to pay your virtual assistants a monthly fee, so you want to be able to factor have some leftovers to pay for the virtual assistants. But something to this effect would be fine. 40% to the buyer's agent, 20% to the negotiator, and and then the 40% left goes to you, which helps you pay for the virtual assistant. Or you can also, you can also give them 35%. The buyer's agent 35%, the negotiator 15%, which is what 50%, and then you can have the other 50%. Okay, so play around with it, and you can have a base. So you can say, okay, look, you're going to get 35% on the 35% of the profits on deals that are not owner financing type deals. And if we make more money, then I'll give you a bonus or something. Okay. All right. John, how do we get a hold of Steve Jackson? I will have one of my one of my assistants to contact you on that. Okay, it looked like Joshua already chat with you. So, Steve's last name is Jackson. Once we have a flex option and a buyer's agent, do we send a copy of the flex option to the agent to get things started, or do you need some other agreement with the agent? You do not need to send a flex option to the agent. That's not necessary. Your agent can start marketing that, because your agent is working for you, not working for the seller. So the agent can start marketing as soon as you're ready, I guess. Ken, how many sellers have you talked to? How many sellers have you got in contact? And let me see. I have been contacting owner finance prospects by email. Do me a favor, Ken. Can you submit your email template to the hotline for me? Let me take a look at it. And are you calling any of them at all, or are you just sending out emails? So I can see exactly what you're doing, so I can better fine-tune it. Okay. When they do not return the flex option. Yeah, you just have to keep on following up with them. But I need to know. The best thing for me, Ken, is if I can know how many people you're calling a day, how many people you're emailing a day. Or how many people have you talked to total? Any emails you're using, any script you're using. The more I can know about the way you're doing it, the better I can help you. But I mean, if my virtual assistants from the Philippines can get these flex options, you really should be able to. And that's probably another thing too. Once you submit this information to me, I'll probably, if you need further help, I'll have one of my virtual assistants to get on the phone with you to walk you through on how to best do it. Carol, Steve Jackson is someone who owns this system called Virtual Investor Plus, which is a website system that we use in our real estate business. Okay. All right. Looks like I answered everybody's questions. I don't think I've missed anybody. Okay. Yeah, looks like I got everybody. Have any of you guys posted some ads for to look for agents yet? Can anybody tell me? if you have posted some ads for agents, can you please tell me? You just did, Shay, so you probably haven't gotten any emails yet. Anyone else that got sellers? Anyone else that got sellers responded to you? All right. Let me see, Audrey. I did miss your question. Let me see here. Hi, Tim. I can have as many listing agents represent me as I want when trying to do short sales. Can I have as many listing agents represent me as? No. You can only have one agent to put on the MLS. Can that same agent also represent me as a buyer's agent if need be? Is this legal? Actually, as my buyer's agent, the answer is yes, Audrey, and yes, it is legal. In a short sale scenario, the agent that's working for you is they do not work for the seller and they do not work for the buyer. They are working for you. So when they list the property, they are listing for you, and when they're selling the property, they are selling for you. And if they are the one personally finding the buyer, then more, you all make more money. Okay. All right. If you guys have not submitted the ad yet, not posted an ad yet, please do that. Okay. You can post an ad on Craigslist as well as on Backpage.com too. Okay. And post it in the real estate services because it's free. But if you're willing to spend the $25, then post it in the real estate job listing as well. That's where I post it because that's where real estate agents go look for a job. So it's a good place to find these hungry agents. Okay, but of course, like I said, you can also talk to brokers as well. But your ad will say something like this: buyer's agent needed or wanted. You don't have to use exactly the same verbiage. Fit it to your liking, so that way not all of you are posting the same ad. We are a real estate investment company looking for a buyer's agent to work with our buyers to sell our owner financing homes. If you're interested, please email us your full contact info, and we'll email you further details. Okay. So just a simple ad like this would do. Okay. You can choose to put all of your details in the ad if you want it. For us, we want we just want more agents to respond, so we want to leave it vague for more agents to respond. But you definitely can be more specific. Let them know that you typically get $3,000 to $10,000 down payment on your rent-to-own homes, and you paid out 25% of the down payment. So stuff like that. Okay. Or you can also tell them what they're gonna do. Your job will be to hold open houses, show houses to buyers, something like that, you know. Okay. So Ken, with this email that you've been sending out, you don't have any sellers responding to you? That's impossible. So it's not your email. It must be what you said to them after they call you. Okay. But anyways, just submit it all to the hotline, and I'll help you from there. Okay, let me see here. Julio said, I did not post an ad, but I sent to 9 realtors and got only 2 who might work with me in Florida, but he needs an agreement specifying his 20% of the income of the down payment. Can I send the non-circumvent agreement? Well, you can use most realtors, they have this commission agreement. And so you can ask them for the commission agreement. If not, you can type out. You can just type up a little agreement between y'all two on the 20% of the income from the down payment. So yeah, you could do that. The non-circumvent agreement can help you to, so they won't circumvent you, but it doesn't explain the commission that they are going to get. Okay, Ken, you email 60 to 70. You only talk to 5. That's crazy. And only 5 people contact you from 60 to 70 emails. That doesn't seem right to me. Because your email is pretty generic. So let me look further into that. Can you just send everything to the hotline for me, please? Okay. All right, y'all. Well, so here's the ad. I'll leave it on here if you need to write it down, okay? And I'll leave it on for like about 5 minutes or so just go ahead and write it down. We're going to go ahead and end this call for today. Awesome call. I enjoyed it. I hope you have enjoyed it too and learned a lot from it. Go ahead and go and post some ads and go and go and get some flex options ready go ahead and get some flex options and send these deals over to these agents. Okay, and if you want to if you want to try this, you can. If you want to find a real estate agent to a different real estate agent, okay, not the same one that's that's your buyer's agent. If you want to find a different real estate agent to call sellers to get flex options for you, you can also do that. Okay, you just have to explain to them how it works. You can also do that. I do not recommend for you to do that just yet. I really do want you to practice. And do it yourself first, but but it doesn't. I guess it doesn't hurt for you to have someone else to also do it at the same time. And that agent that works with the seller can also be your agent that is your negotiator too. So that would cut out the virtual assistant part of it. Okay. How do you know if the agent's good? You just work with them and see if they produce what you want them to produce. So that's the best way. Okay. Actually, let me see. Sal, you also had a question that I missed about you have a VA 3 weeks now and things are not working. Please submit to the hotline for me, Sal, of what you are doing, what they are doing for you, where did you hire them. I need to know what is it that they know and what is it that they're doing for you. Okay, Sal, so please submit that to the hotline for me. Okay. Yeah, Sherry, if the agent does the seller part, why do they need you? Well, you just have to let them know that you are the one teaching them how to do this, and you're getting they're getting on this with you, sort of like a partnership. So find a friend agent, someone that perhaps not a stranger that you can trust, so they don't go on their own. Okay. And so, so I mean, that's that's the thing about this business is that once the agent or the employees knows how you're doing this, it is very possible that you will lose them unless unless you're they really like and trust you and want to continue to do this stuff with you. Okay. What's the best website to get the house value? Yan, go to values.dodeals.com. All right, that's the best website. Values.dodeals.com. All right, y'all. Well, man, I've been trying to say bye forever. And Julio, I will check on your addendum. I don't know why. I haven't seen it, but I will check on that, okay? All right. All right, everybody, thank you. Have an awesome, awesome week. Bye-bye. Oh, before I let you go, one more thing. Jeez, totally forgot. We are having a seminar coming up in on September 17th to the 20th. It's a 4-day seminar. This is a very, very special seminar. We actually never done this before. But what the seminar is, it's a part of our deal making weekend. This is a weekend that this is one of those weekends that our apprentice students. This is one of the weekends that our apprentice students come to Houston, and that our apprentice students come to Houston, and not only they'll learn from what I'm going to teach them, and at this seminar I'm going to be teaching in much greater detail about this model that you're looking at now, and give you all of the ads, all of the scripts, everything that you need to use to set up this business. But along with that, this weekend is that the apprentice students are going to be doing their deal making weekend. So for the apprentice students on the line, make sure you be there for that weekend. And the deal making weekend it's a weekend where the apprentice students fly in to Houston, and we spend Friday marketing for sellers, and we spend Saturday and Sundays marketing for buyers. And our goal is to sell at least one house that weekend, where we have a buyer committed and sign a contract and put down a deposit. Okay, and so it's gonna go on. It's gonna be happening on September 17th and 20th. For the very, we've never done this before, and so this is actually the first time that we're doing it this way, where we're going to open it up for our online coaching students to be able to attend this for a fee. Okay, it is going. If you're not an apprentice student, it is going to cost $997 to be there. And this is happening at my office, and my office is not big. It's kind of small. So we're totally limiting this to only 20 people. Now, if you're an apprentice student, you don't need to worry about this fee. You get to come for free. And for the online coaching students, if you do want to attend this event and learn my entire virtual investing business in much greater detail and be in person and actually witness how the apprentice students does these deals in one weekend, you are able to attend. There is a minimal fee for that, which is $997. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is something that typically is only reserved for the apprentice students, which is the apprentice program is a $15,000 program if you pay in payments, or $12,000 if you pay in full, and so it's going to be only for the so that's why for the apprentice program this is free for them. But for the online coaching, if any of you guys want to go to this seminar and witness what goes down in, witness how and like get to see in live, real action how these apprentice students are doing it, you can come as well. And to register, all you have to do is go to www.dodeals.com/SEPT-seminar. SEPT short for September. dodeals.com/September seminar, SEPT seminar. Okay, or you can also email us dodeals.com as well. You can do either way. Okay, and so as far as recording, Fiona, we will record it. So with you being overseas, we'll upload the videos online for you. Okay, so we will. The answer is yes. We will be recording the event. But if you can come, it'll be cool. All right. Okay, everybody. Well, that's pretty much it for now. I look forward to seeing you guys at the live seminar. We're gonna have a lot of fun, that's for sure, and to actually be able to witness and see how we do deals live in one weekend. We actually find and sell houses in one weekend. It'll be a pretty awesome experience for you guys. All right. I'll talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.